Welcome everyone, it's Cannabis News. I'm your host Joe Klare. It's January 13th, 2020. Of course, the show as always is presented to you by the Marijuana Times. Find us at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab there to find the show. A lot of great articles and more, marijuanatimes.org. Today we're talking about Ohio's medical marijuana program, also a little snafu, a roadblock, a stalling, if you will, of attempts at legalization for adult use in Florida for this year. We're talking about that news breaking today, and cannabis edibles arriving on shelves in various places in Canada, like Alberta. We'll talk about all of that coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides grow safe and poison-free with Natureside. Don't use harmful chemicals or banned pesticides. Use Natureside instead. Nature-side.com. Proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Thank you, Natureside, for your continued support of the show. This first story by yours truly, the marijuanatimes.org. How far has Ohio's medical marijuana program come? Some struggles, to be sure. I talked with Robert Ryan, who's the president of Queen City Hemp, which is a CBD company in Cincinnati. He said, delays in processing and dispensary license and approval has caused patients to suffer. This year, we're approaching the 4-year anniversary of the signing of House Bill 523, and the program is still trying to get off the ground. From a business perspective, he said, I'd say it's running at least 50%, less than 50% capacity, not to mention about half the patients who have been recommended marijuana have not even gone to a dispensary. So we've been supporting Ohio Patient Network's efforts to add addiction to the list, but to date, no additional conditions have been added to the program. There are various petitions circulating to get more qualifying conditions added to the Ohio medical marijuana program. Robert said, my hope is that adding conditions and expanding the program will give Ohio businesses a fighting chance to survive long term. As we move towards furthering social acceptance of cannabis, I believe we will start to see less restrictions on the sale of it. I'm hopeful that Ohio's program can be successful, but there needs to be a stronger push to get it there. I point out in the article that there's some problems, namely Mike DeWine, governor of Ohio, has never been a fan of cannabis, but hopefully more conditions can be added in Ohio. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I mean, if Issue 3 had passed, all this would have turned out differently, and there'd be retail shops, and I don't know. It's just all the stuff I said then will be happening now, but it's not. So here we are. MiamiHerald.com brings us this next story. Recreational pot ballot proposal fizzles, but new pot bills filed in Tallahassee. Voters will not vote to legalize recreational marijuana in Florida this year. After a brief but expensive campaign, the Make It Legal Florida Political Committee ended its effort Monday to get recreational marijuana on the 2020 ballot. The campaign was raised over $8.7 million in primarily marijuana industry money since it launched in August, has spent $7.7 million on the effort. In December alone, the committee raised more than $4.8 million, according to a newly filed campaign finance report. The bulk of the contributions came from medical marijuana companies MedMen and Sutera, which does business now as Parallel. The signed petitions, which are valid for 2 years, will be used for a 2022 ballot campaign. The narrow time frame to submit and verify those signatures has prompted our committee to shift focus, said Make It Legal Florida Chairman Nick Hansen from medical marijuana company MedMen. We're looking forward, he said, to the Supreme Court review of our efforts and working in collaboration with state leaders to ensure the supermajority of Floridians' voices are heard. Various polls have shown anywhere between 59 and 67% when it comes to support for adult use cannabis in Florida. The state had already verified 295,000 signed petitions from Make It Legal Florida. There's just 38% of the total signatures needed by February 1st. In a series of messages to paid petition gatherers late Sunday night and into early Monday morning, a petition company manager wrote, unfortunately, Make It Legal campaign is wrapping up early, effective immediately. We're extremely grateful for your hard work and dedication. Republican Senator Jeff Brandes of St. Petersburg has filed a bill that would legalize marijuana for adult use and breaks down the current vertical integration structure by allowing contracting and wholesaling by growers and processors or retailers. Under the current law, license holders are responsible for all business from seed to sale. Of course, there's a lawsuit challenging the vertical integration model that we've talked about here on the show before. Brandis' bill would also expunge low-level criminal records and study the impact of homegrown marijuana. More harm has been caused by the prohibition of marijuana than by marijuana itself, Brandis said. I believe decriminalizing marijuana will enable law enforcement to deal with more serious crimes and allow them to have a greater impact on our communities with their limited resources. A House companion bill was also filed by Orlando Democrat Carlos Guillermo Smith. So there's going to be efforts in the legislature this year in Florida. How far those will go remains to be seen, but the ballot will not be the place where voters will find marijuana legalization in Florida in 2020, and that is unfortunate. It's going to be a big battle, one of the ones we're going to watch closely. It would be a huge victory for the cannabis law reform movement, but at least at the ballot box this year in Florida, it is not meant to be. This last story from globalnews.ca out of Canada. Cannabis edibles arrive on Alberta store shelves on Monday. So if y'all got some, if you're up there, retail stores in Edmonton and Calgary are preparing to receive cannabis edible products on Monday, 1 month after some provinces. Products like gummies, chocolate, and mints were legalized in October, but Health Canada must conduct a 60-day review before the products can be sold. That meant retailers had to wait until at least mid-December to order. Other provinces like British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba have looser regulations, so the items have been available there for weeks. Edibles are considered legalization 2.0 by some in the industry who say the products will help grow the cannabis market. It's expected different types of edibles, including beverages, will be added in the future. First-time users are advised to start small and wait for a high before ingesting more. Yeah, something we talked about many, many times on the show. So now edibles slowly filtering into the adult use market in Canada. Enjoy those, our Canadian friends. It's the start of a new week here at Cannabis News. Make sure you check out the Marijuana Times on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. We're closing in on 3,000 subscribers. Click the notification bell so you know when a new episode has dropped. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thanks to everybody who likes and shares and comments on the videos and spreads the truth about cannabis with this show. Please continue to do so. Thanks for watching and listening today. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News. Nope, turn that up. There you go.